unless you just have 100 people. If you just have 100 guys in a room and you're not telling them what's happening.
Just let a gorilla in there.
Yeah, and then a gorilla rises up out of the floor in the middle and just goes ape shit and starts killing people. Damn, I am a grown-ass man.
I'm fucking here.
Yeah, about goddamn fucking time. You only missed what, like 20?
2 years worth of episodes.
Yeah,
I missed like 4.
Hey everyone, welcome to Shooting Left of Center with my guests and co-hosts. Never enough ammo for once. He actually showed up, and GWebs. So say hello, everyone.
By the way, I've missed less shows than you have.
I'm always at my shows.
Yeah,
no,
but the shows
you know how many
done.
Shooting Left of Center shows you just completely forgotten about?
That's true.
Yeah, but I still show up. I just don't remember to do the show. You know, I sit here and I talk. I just forget. And then halfway through, someone will say, wasn't this supposed to be Shooting Left of Center? And I'll be like, fuck. Oh, no.
At least I have a valid excuse instead of just aged dementia.
Moving to Greenland and joining the mafia does not count as a valid excuse.
It does. It does.
I don't think so. What's the weather like up there? How you enjoying the weather?
Oh, I fucking love it. The whole family loves it. Dude, like I was saying, I haven't sweat in 2.5 months.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I'm sweating right now, but it's not hot. I'm just fat and got off the treadmill. So, how's it there, GWebs? Is it nice and cool there?
It's 85 right now, so it's getting to where it's pretty nice, but it's about to be not nice anymore.
But it's a dry heat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a dry oven. It's a dry
like
air fryer.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Like always, you all are going to drive the conversation. So if you got anything to add it. I will go over here and see if we got any questions coming in. What is today's date? It's the first. Okay.
It's going to be May.
It's going to be May.
Yeah, it is May, I guess. I didn't pay attention to that. Salvador Verga donated to the TYMP, but did not leave a question or anything. He just likes to check in. Dale Rickety, let's see if he left a question. He said, I got nothing and I don't want nothing. Oh, that's an easy way. But he's old. He's got everything he needs already. And anything he gets, that's just more stuff he has to give away when he dies. So, because he's 107 years old. Did you know he was 107 years old?
Oh, he had a birthday?
Yeah, he had a birthday. He's 107.
All right.
John Mandrick, that was an order. Tim Allen, that looks like that was an order. Kevin Payton paid his $2 tithe to Phil and said, all hail Phil. NEA, good to see you back, Yank. I came in late. How many takes? No, I got it in one today. I got started in one take. I didn't do it exactly right. I forgot to do music or anything like that, which I don't think I've been doing music for a long time. I think I've been forgetting that for a while. But I didn't do multiple takes. The other day, I was just having a bad day. It took me like 5 takes to get started. I just could not. You know how when you're doing a video and you just can't get your mouth to work?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was one of those days. I was like, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, I got it in one take today. I'm doing pretty good. It was a good day. I went to the gun shop. I got to see a Shadow 2 carry in person. Just a good day overall. Christopher Jones weighed in here and said, finish the sentence. High Point is making an AR, but we still don't have a reason to buy it. I don't know.
So I've heard of this. I've seen some headlines saying High Point's making an AR. I swear to God, I thought that was a joke. Is that not a joke?
I don't know. I have not seen anything official about it, but
I just assumed that was a joke.
High Point hypes sub $500 HP 15 AR rifle. I guess maybe they're making one. Are they making the fore end and the body and the lower out of zinc, or is it going to be aluminum? I don't know, but
It's
I mean,
fun.
Well, I imagine they're just buying uppers and lowers from someone.
probably
Like
just put them together and then just stamping high point on them.
Yeah.
People will buy, because you can buy an upper and a lower, a basic upper and lower, really fucking cheap.
Oh yeah.
So I'm sure they could put one together, buying stuff in bulk. They could put one together for what, $100 probably, and then just sell it for something and make a huge profit.
They're gonna do an AR for under $500. PSA's been doing that for a decade, and to this day, you can assemble.
There it is.
You can assemble. I'm just saying,
PSA ad already.
But you can assemble a mil spec AR from PSA for $400. Why would you buy a high point?
I'm trying to look. Was this in the first 5 minutes? Do I owe GWeb $20 or not?
I mean, seriously though, like, why would you buy a high point AR? I mean, other than just for shits, I guess maybe.
Yes, maybe
Bear Creek. You can slap together a Bear Creek for under $500 already.
Maybe some people are just huge high point fans. I don't know.
Really? Do you think that's true? I don't think that. I don't think there's like really huge high point fans. I like high points because it's a $150 gun that works. It's ugly as shit. It's unbalanced. It feels like a water gun with the brick strapped to the top of it. But if you only you cannot save money because you just don't have, you just can't. You just bad job, whatever it is. And you only can spend $150 on a handgun. A high point is a great option. I've owned 3 of them over the years. They work every time you pull the trigger. So I really don't have anything negative to say about them as far as functionality goes and as far as their price point. They make sense for what they are. Yeah. However, would you really say there's a lot of high point fans? I don't think so.
Oh, I think so.
Hey, there's Kel-Tec fans.
Yeah, there's definitely high point.
Well, look, there's retarded people in every portion of society. So, I mean, that's a thing. We just accept that.
I'm not retarded, by the way. I'm autistic. There's a difference. Let's see here. Someone, Jar Jar's my lover, just said chat with an exclamation point. He's very excited about it. Ober Goopin Fulmer, but I agree. PSA, why would you buy one from a high point when PSA is probably going to be better for same money? Let's see here. Ober Goopin Fulmer, that's quite a name, became a new member. He just joined my WAP, so people move over. Let's see. Jason Thompson, that's Officer Tater Hater, chimed in and said, I sent more emails. More so-called sheepdogs need a jail cell with Bubba. Please read my comment to the class. I read your comment. This time you didn't put any obscenities in it. He sends me comments all the time that are just obscene. And then when I edit them as I'm reading them, he gets upset. Let's see. Do we got any questions coming in over here? I don't think there's anything else over here. Nope, that was the last one. Where are we? I don't know if I agree with that Gribble shirt. It implies the government are people. Well, though it says the government kills people. It doesn't say government are people. It says guns don't kill people. The government does. It doesn't imply that the government's people at all. You misread it. Let's see here. Nathan W. Hey, I just picked up a 629 mountain gun. What do you think of those? I love 629 mountain guns. Is it the old ones or a new one? Or is it one of the new ones with the no lock? Or what is it? Which one? But 629 mountain guns are like one of the classic guns. The tapered barrel and all that shit looks nice.
What makes it a mountain gun?
You can take it in the mountains.
As opposed to other guns that you're not allowed to?
Not supposed to, no.
Would be unwieldy in the mountains, I guess.
Like if you're walking through the mountains with just a regular 629 or something, you'll get, I think they can give you a ticket. It's got to be a mountain gun. But they're nice. They do have the different barrels. Instead of having like the full underlug stuff and everything, they got the partial underlug and the tapered barrel. You know how the barrel tapers down as it goes out. So they have definitely do have a different look, and they're lighter, so they're easier to carry. I think it's all that stuff put together, and then there's still a 44 Magnum, so they can still take down a cougar and a bear. So, I think what? Somebody say something? I thought I heard a frog or something. Where are we at? Federal Job Corps, a disaster. Does anybody know anything about the Federal Job Corps? I don't know anything about the Federal Job Corps.
I don't like federal. I don't like jobs, and I'm only semi-partial to cores, so I don't like that.
Well, it depends on what kind of core. Apple cores are good because you can throw them at your friends when you're a kid. In fact, that was a game you played whenever whoever finished their apple first would be like, Apple core, who's your friend? Everybody would yell, Robert or Johnny or whoever, and then everybody threw their apples at them.
I've never heard of that one before.
That's what counted as a game when we were kids, because we just had apples and rocks basically. So we threw rocks at each other too, mud clods especially. Nothing better than a good rain and then a nice dry spell after. So there were plenty of mud clods around. You go out and break up the mud clods and throw them at each other. For about 4 years when I was a kid, like prime, like 10 to 12 years old, maybe a little longer, there was a area behind the hospital that they had plowed out. It was a little valley, and they were going to put in drainage because they were going to build an old folks home. And it got delayed for like 5 years, but they had brought in all these big concrete tubes to put in a sewer system, where they're like 4 foot in diameter or maybe bigger. And they were just in stacks down there. And we used to go down there and it was dry mud because where they plowed it. So it was just mud galore. And we would get those and we would run through those tubes and hide in those tubes and come out and throw them at each other. And we'd make forts on each side. I think that's the most fun I ever had in my life, trying to kill each other with big clots of mud with rocks in it and everything.
Dude, I know exactly what you're talking about. We'd walk home from school, so we had all the time in the world, right? Because just had to be home before the lights went out or whatever. So I remember exactly what you're talking about when it would be those conditions where the puddle would dry, crack up into like chunks, and then you throw those things, and they were awesome because you'd hit, somebody'd hide behind something like a tree or something, and you get like a little cloud of dust or something when you hit it.
They just burst and and the fun thing about having those concrete culvert things is that you would throw them, and if they had a good rock in them and they hit that and exploded, you'd hear the big ka-thong of the rock rattling the big tubes. So you'd be like, oh, I'm glad that one didn't hit me. So we didn't have a lot to do when I was a kid. Someone the other day was saying, I saw one of those things online where it's like, we grew up without cell phones or the internet and life was awesome. If you were one of the people that grew up without these things, type about it. I'm like, it's all right. It's kind of boring. We got bored a lot. Did a lot.
I was driving down the street and there's, how like at least out here we have terrain right up and it goes up and down. So like the sidewalk had shifted and the one piece of sidewalk was pushed up over the other piece of sidewalk. And I was sitting there thinking about it for a while. Like we would have not left that ramp alone until they fixed it. Basically, that would have been like the coolest thing to have a free ramp.
Yeah, because we went out of our way to try to find stuff to build ramps. I mean, you went around looking for like old barrels to lay over on their side and stick an old piece of plywood on them or something. And I remember taking
like that. People would clean up, like they'd move it, but like a broken sidewalk until they fixed it, you had a free ramp.
Oh yeah, but I still remember doing that. But going and getting like the old like oil barrel kind of things and laying them on their side and then jamming stuff under the front of them so they didn't roll, and then putting a piece of plywood on them or a board and hitting that with your bicycle and seeing who could get the most air, and coming down with the handlebars right in your groin or your lower abdomen.
Dude, or they would loosen, and have you ever had the handlebars go forward into the tire and you
I've had that happen, but it's
yeah, it was horrible.
Or have them go down while you're standing up to pump and you're just go out below you.
I went down the stairs one time. It was the last time I ever went downstairs on a bike because that's what happened. I hit my fucking chest right into that, whatever you call that part where the things turn, handlebars turn. What do you call that thing? Do they put a nut pad on for dudes?
I don't know what it is.
I don't know what that is, but I hit that thing pretty hard.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody out there, Steele, was saying, how does YouTube not have an @ feature? So you just start typing, you put an @ sign, and then you start typing somebody's name. It takes 2 characters, 2 letters, and then it'll auto-complete all the names in the chat. So there is an auto-complete in there.
Yeah. Like if you type @TH, it'll autofill @the Yankee Marshall for you.
Just be careful to put everybody else with TH in there. Also, you have to pick the right one.
You have to choose the right one. Sent you a place where you could get a replacement for the 360 PD for cheap. It had to be real cheap right now for me. I don't got never enough ammos, Northerner money. I'm not Northern royalty. I don't got that kind of cash. Make him carry the plastic python. I'll make my son carry it. It's right there. I got it right here. Right. I would pick it up, but I have a feeling YouTube would cancel the chat, even though it's a toy gun.
Dude, I had a BB gun that I got, that Glock 7 or the Daisy 1700. Looks like a Glock. It's a BB gun. I got that in the mail. I opened the box and had it sitting in the box, and I wiggled the box around, and I got a fucking channel strike, and they took it down.
Bro, I had a dude on who's one of my geek friends, and he was on one of my chats showing a Transformers Megatron gun.
Yeah,
clearly, and my chat got shut down, and they gave me a strike, which I was able to get removed like 24 hours later, because it was a toy. It was literally, we were having a conversation about toys from the 80s. They shut it down because of Megatron.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. It's ridiculous bullshit. And they're very picky and choosy about who they enforce it against, too.
Mm-hmm.
What was I going to say? The worst thing, the other day, I'm on my couch, and it's like 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm sitting there like 3:30, 4 o'clock. That's when I'm really settling down and thinking about going to bed. I'm sitting there and I'm on my phone, and I get an alert from YouTube. And it's like, you have received a channel strike for an infraction in a video where you're modifying and blah, 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 a firearm. And I'm like, what the fuck? I did something the other day where I was refinishing the wood, and I took them off and refinished them off the gun, just refinishing wood. And I'm like, is it that? But no, it was from a video I made 4 years ago.
Oh, dude, every single day I log on to my email account, though, it'll tell me another, couple of three videos from back in the day. I'm surprised I have any videos up anymore.
I know, it's just horrible. It's like, I can understand we've changed the rules. So from now on, well, when you're enforcing those rules, you don't get to go back to 2 years before it started them. It's not like they could say tomorrow, we're outlawing motorcycles and we're going to round up everybody that had been driving a motorcycle for the last 30 years and put them in prison. That's not really fair. They were legal right up to the point. So, but now you want to penalize people retroactively. But YouTube does that all the time if it benefits them. It doesn't fill it in when you're on a phone. Oh, well, that may be true. Who watches this on their phone? Do people still watch videos on their phone?
Only.
I mean, I do.
I don't.
Like at work.
Yeah, I mean, I will if I'm like, yeah. But even on the couch, I don't like watch videos on my pad. If I want to watch a video, I stream it to my TV. That sounded. See, that's the kind of thing I say that my kids make fun of me. When I say something like TV, they don't like that. They say it embarrasses them in front of their friends because I sound like a yokel. Like everybody thinks their dad's a hillbilly. I hate to break it to them, their dad is a hillbilly, but still, they don't like people knowing that. Like when I say dog, they think I say dog wrong. And I'm like, it's 3 letters. How can you say dog wrong? Questions wise here. To NEA and GWebs, mud clods and apple cores, and he wonders why he's not normal.
I mean,
that seems very normal to me. Back when I was a kid, throwing apple cores and mud clods at each other was very normal. Crab apple fights. Remember crab apple fights?
Yeah. You had to have a crab apple tree, but yeah.
Yeah, we had tons of crab apple trees. They were all over where I grew up, and we had an orchard in the backyard, and that makes it sound like, ooh, fancy. But no, we were poor, and it just was my grandmother's property that she bought had apple trees and stuff in the back. So we would go back there and have Granny Smith battles. Those are bacon apples. You don't really want to eat them off the ground or anything, but they're good for throwing at each other. They're really good because they're soft enough that they won't like give you permanent brain injuries or anything, but they hurt like a motherfucker when they hit you.
Dude, when you said that, like well, the crab apple tree is what I remember, because you get in trouble for winging real apples at each other because people would want the apples.
Well,
But
eat
crab
those,
apples,
yeah.
nobody eat them, so nobody cares. But you wait till, was it fall, I guess, when
Mhm.
crab apples are starting to get gross, and you'd wing them and they'd be like a mess.
They'd
They
splatter.
barely held together, but they almost were like throwing a tomato at somebody. Like that was a whole nother level.
But the best thing about the rotten crab apples, though, or the fermenting crab apples on the ground, is since we had so many back there, we would get to watch the bear come down and eat them, and the deer come down and eat them, and get drunk off their ass.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Like go staggering back up into the woods, falling down, rolling back down the hill, kind of like just drop down drunk, eating old fermented apples. But let's see here. Any more questions coming in?
Where'd you move to, Matt? Are you in a place where you've got land and stuff, or are you in the middle of the city?
I'm in the middle of a small town of
Okay, so
it's about 8,000 people.
Well, that's
But
the
more-
biggest
more-
town in Greenland, isn't it?
The what?
That would be the biggest town in Greenland, isn't it?
Yeah.
more of a bigger town than when you moved out of, or smaller?
Oh, no. It's smaller than where I moved from
Okay.
by a lot. I mean, I technically did live in a small town, but it was a small town right outside of Brownsville, Texas, that was basically a suburb of Brownsville, Texas. And
Yeah,
Brownsville has like 200,000 people in it.
Oh,
So,
okay.
like, yeah, technically the town I lived in, that was all of 2 exits away from Brownsville, Texas on the highway, was technically small, but nobody really counted it because it's all part of one big area of Texas where every town touches each other.
That's like it's like living down here in Lacamas or something, and people will be like, "You're a small town. We got 2,500 people." I'm like, "You're on the same street as Portland." And
Yeah.
Vancouver, you're like right
Yeah,
next
that's what
to
it was like down
1.2 million people.
Whereas here where I live, I'm legitimately like 15 minutes away from the next town driving on the highway.
Mm.
You know, like I live in a small town that's like just all unto itself.
But do you have a Walmart?
Yes, we have a Walmart. We actually have, if I didn't have to go to work, I would never have to leave this town. We have Walmarts, comic shops, toy shops, movie theaters, Starbucks, every fast food place you can imagine. We've got a Myers, we've got Home Depot. It's a nice ass town. It's a really nice town. I would never have to leave. I have everything I need in this little town if I didn't have to go to work.
That's another thing I grew up without when I was a kid. You mentioned it, is fast food. People talk about, back in the day, we didn't have cell phones and internet. My town didn't really have fast food either. We didn't have McDonald's and, all those things. We had, eventually, when I got a little older, we had a Burger Chef. If you remember Burger Chef and Jeff, it's later became Burger Queen.
I know Burger Queen. I've seen those before.
That started off as Burger Chef. But we didn't have fast food until I was older. And then the only time we could see fast food, we had to go to Huntington or over to Gallipolis, Ohio. We didn't have fast. We had a Long John Silver's over there. And I thought that was high society to go over to Gallipolis, Ohio, which had to cross 2 rivers and a bridge, 2 bridges and some town to get to. But it was high society to go to Long John Silver's. That's what the rich people did. My phone is my only screen. I grew up having pine cone fights. Yeah, pine cone fights. The squirrels still throw pine cones at Django all the time. They don't get along with Django. Let's see here. I think we're all caught up on everything over here. Let me make sure. Yes. Any questions coming in? Please ask NEA, is the crime from Flint, Michigan has spilled over into his town? He is fairly close to Flint.
Yeah, I'm like 25 minutes from Flint. Because Flint's where I work. I work in Flint. I'm like 25 minutes from Flint. There's no, no.
So
and by the way, Flint is not as bad as people make it out to be. Like, I wouldn't want to live there. I'm not saying it's good by any means. I'm just saying I've lived in places far worse than Flint. So people talk about Flint like it's the ultimate hellhole of the United States. It's not.
Live in a trailer park next to a coal mine.
Yeah. There's way fucking worse places than Flint.
That was the worst place I could think I ever lived. It was in a trailer park right next to a coal mine. It was not fun. But so you work in Flint, you say?
Yeah, I work in Flint.
So your job is oppressing the black man.
As much as possible. Yeah.
That's what I figured.
Yeah.
Oh, I figured it was keeping the water on fire or whatever they have there.
Well, maybe he was one of the people that puts the water out when it catches on fire.
No, I like to light people's water on fire so then it catches their house on fire, because a house that hasn't been on fire at least once just really doesn't fit in with the Flint, motif. So we go around. It's kind of like Fahrenheit 451. We go around and start fires instead of putting them out.
Oh,
like light fountains,
especially if the people that live there are black, because that's what you want to do, right? Like you want to light those houses on fire first.
Now, I'm not racist, which means what I'm about to say is going to be very racist.
Totally racist, yeah.
I'm not racist, and I don't want people to think I'm racist, but I loved how Flint, Michigan, and some other places, they pretend like that's the worst case of things like bad water, or the first case is like, and this only happens to black people because we're holding them down. I was like, when I was a kid living in that trailer park in West Virginia, we couldn't drink the water either. We had to go buy water from the store, and you literally could light our water on fire. There were times when the old well caps out behind the trailer park, people would light them on fire and they would burn for days before the fire department could put them out because there was so much chemical in them from the coal mines. Yeah. So our water was flammable and we could not drink it at all. You couldn't even get it on you. You had to take baths in a tub that you filled with jugs of, the water you got from the store. So every family member, all the kids had to take the same bath in the same water. And you were lucky to be the oldest because you got to go first. But by the time you got to the little kid, the water was a little gray. If we wanted to take a bath with real water, we had to go to my grandmother's, where she had a well and didn't live next to the coal mine. So I always hate when people pretend like these minorities are the only people that have ever been poor and mistreated. Yeah, grow up in Appalachia. It didn't matter if you were black or white. You were mistreated by the coal mines and the big money interests, and they didn't care what color you were. You were fodder. You were someone to use up in the coal mine and toss aside. Let's see here. Where are we? Just because all hail Phil, said Ramon D1776 or 1776, I guess we should say. Invincible Season 3 has a character known as Two Punch Man. Imagine him squaring off against One Punch Man. Well, it would be over in one punch, even no matter who got the first punch. If one of them takes two punches to win and One Punch Man takes one punch to win, it wouldn't matter who got the punch first. Does that mean one punch and you're out, or two punches and you're out? Like Two Punch Man is twice as durable as One Punch Man? I don't know. I think One Punch Man means he's so powerful he can beat anybody in one punch. Well, Matt's a nerd. He'll know this. I don't do anime, so I don't know any. I've heard of One Punch Man. Oh, but you know it's anime. I didn't even know it was anime. Yeah, it's anime. I know it's anime because I've got friends who are into anime that talk about it, but I'm not into anime, so I don't. Oh, I don't know anything about it. Like, I don't have any. I just assume One Punch Man, just like you, means he can punch anybody and win in one punch, I guess. I assume. That's what I assume. So I got a real question instead of this fake questions. Have you guys heard about the 100 people, one gorilla, or 100 dudes, one gorilla? Yes. Unfortunately, I can't stop hearing about it, and I'm real tired of hearing about it. But yeah, I've heard about it. How do you come down on the who wins, one gorilla or 100 dudes? 100 dudes. Yeah, they all attack in unison, but I don't. I mean, unless you're pretending like it's a Chuck Norris movie and everybody runs at the gorilla one person at a time, then yes, 100 dudes win. Like, I'm not saying there aren't going to be some of those 100 dudes that get fucking killed and fucked up, because there are. A couple, yeah. But 100 dudes can take down a gorilla. Yes, especially if they have like a minute to figure it out before they attack. Yeah, if they just have a second to be like, okay, we're just going to all rush him at once, and some of us are going to get fucked up. And we can do things like, okay, we're all going to rush him at once. You 10 guys, you go for his left arm. You 20 guys go for his legs. Exactly. And we take our shirts off and spin them and turn them into ropes so we can wrap them around his wrists so we can grab hold and hold him down. 100 dudes are going to win. Yeah. unless you just have 100 people. If you just have 100 guys in a room and you're not telling them what's happening.
Just let a gorilla in there.
Yeah, and then a gorilla rises up out of the floor in the middle and just goes ape shit and starts killing people. I have a feeling he'll kill all 100.
You know what? I'll bet you even into that scenario, like 40 dudes in, the 60 others are going to be like, what the fuck? And they're going to figure out how to take out a gorilla pretty quick.
That's if you have time to think. If he's not just...
No, I'm just saying like the first 40, like he's not going to be able to kill 100 in one swoop. So I think even if as he's tearing through people, the rest of the people are going to figure out.
But what if the room is like 15 feet by 15 feet?
Well, I'm not saying anything could be difficult. I'm just saying like that gorilla is still going to have to fight no matter.
Yeah, he's going to put up a fight. He's going. But if he just goes ape shit berserker in the middle, and like I say, it's like a 20 foot by 20 foot room, and the 100 guys are standing shoulder to shoulder, and he just comes up in the middle of them, or they drop him from the ceiling.
But now it's getting ridiculous.
Yeah.
Now it's unrealistic.
Yeah, now it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it is.
Yeah,
now it's becoming unrealistic.
But no, I hadn't heard anything about that. Are they actually going to have 100 people fight a gorilla?
No, it's just been going around like it. I'm sick of it. It's like
social media fucking thing, and I don't know who started it. And everybody's debating over this dumb scenario that's never going to happen.
Yeah, and there's like a million CGIs. That's what I've been seeing. Is all these like dumb CGIs, and they're all like, "Oh, the gorilla's going to win. The gorilla's going to win." I'm like, this is stupid. Who thinks it? I mean,
I would. To me, a better scenario and a better thing to think would be like if someone gave you a box with 2 buttons on it and you had to push one button. One button killed 100 men you don't know. One killed a gorilla you don't know. Which button would you push?
Oh, okay.
I'd kill the 100 men in a second.
Wait, do you get anything for pushing either button?
A T-shirt that says which one you killed. Like I killed 100 men, saved a gorilla, or I killed a gorilla, saved 100 men.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to think about that.
I killed a gorilla.
I killed a gorilla.
I killed 100 men. People aren't that important to me. I don't think they're that. People are like, every life is valuable and sacred. I'm like, really? Have you met some of my relatives that have never been worth a dime their whole life? They're really not that special. I'm related to a lot of people that if they disappeared tomorrow, the world wouldn't be a worse place. It would be a better place, a far better place, because there would be less people getting their homes broke into for heroin money, and there'd be less people getting their cars stolen. There'd be less people getting assaulted on the street for their wallets. You know, it'd be a better place without these people. So I could think of, it's like if that thing, they're like, would you be a vampire if you had to kill someone every week to live? Like if you could have the powers, but you had to kill one person every week to survive.
Oh, that's easy. Yeah.
Yeah. If I had to kill somebody every day.
Because you're getting something valuable for that.
Yeah.
Like with the kill a gorilla or kill 100 men, it's like there's no value to that. It's just you're just asking me to make a choice for the sake of making a choice. Like if you weigh it down, okay, if you kill the 100 men, you get this, and
okay,
if you
kill the 100 men, you get the first appearance of Spider-Man in Fantastic Four.
For what? For which one?
What was it? Number what? The one where he's up in the plexiglass container and he's.
But he's saying for the gorilla or the dude?
Yeah,
Spider-Man 1.
No, Amazing Fantasy.
Amazing Fantasy 15. But for which one? For killing the gorilla or the people?
For killing the people.
Oh, that'd kill the people.
Yeah.
Of course, if they said it was for killing the gorilla, I'd kill the gorilla then.
Yeah. Well, it's not. You're not going to incentivize killing a gorilla. That's horrible.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Like, whichever one you want me to kill, whichever button will get me that Amazing Fantasy 15 is the button I will push.
Yeah, I would kill the 100 people either way. Because like I said, I just don't think people are that valuable. I think we got too many of them. These people like Elon Musk that say, oh, we need more people if we don't have more people. The only reason they do that is because they're venture capitalists, and venture capitalism requires exponential growth in population to maintain a profit. I don't think we need more people. We got too many people. He's like, oh, we got to go to Mars. No, we don't. You just want to say that so that you can get billions and billions of dollars worth of taxpayer money to make it look like we might someday go to Mars, which we ain't going to. It's just not feasibly possible with the technologies we have or are likely to have in the near future before we wipe ourselves out as a species. There's like a 99.97% chance that we'll wipe ourselves out as a species before we're ever capable of interstellar travel of any means that would save our species.
I've never heard of that before.
So yeah, ask who's the last person I was talking about was Neil deGrasse Tyson. He was talking about how the odds just stack up to where destroying our species is like 9,000 times, like 900,000 times more likely than ever developing any means of space travel before we destroy our species. So maybe we should start dealing with the problems that are going to destroy our species and then worry about the space travel.
But how do we deal with those problems? I know.
Kill half
our species.
Huh?
That's going to be people's answer to that question.
Right.
Well, if we just kill half the people, then it won't have that problem anymore.
That's fine with me, as long as I'm not the half that gets killed. I think we could all just compromise, and if we just wipe out, start off, we'll just wipe out China, and then divvy it up amongst the other states, because China is responsible, and this is not a racist thing. It's not because they're Asian. I got no problem with the other Asian countries. It's because they're responsible for like 95% of the world's poaching. So if we got rid of China, we'd still have rhinos and tigers still, and we'd have a lot less people eating up all the resources.
Whales?
No, we don't need to kill the whales.
No, I'm saying they probably could kill a shit ton of whales for China.
They do kill a shit ton of whales. So the Japanese people do too. They kill a lot of dolphins. So watch it, Japanese people, or you might be on the list.
If every single person in Japan was eating a dolphin, it wouldn't add up to like every 30 people in China eating a dolphin, right? Like there's a shit ton of people in China, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Like I say in Red Dawn, who's on our side? 500 million screaming Chinamen. Isn't there a billion screaming Chinamen? There used to be.
You got to throw a cup of whiskey into the fire when you say that.
Yeah. I watched that again the other day. I told you that with my kids. They'd never seen the original. They'd seen the remake, but never seen the original. So I showed them the original, and they really, really liked it. They didn't really like the remake, which I don't blame them, but they liked the original one. I would donate money to send politicians to Mars. It would be so much cheaper to just lock them in a box in the hot sun.
What about put a gorilla in with Congress?
Oh, yeah. Lock the doors and put a gorilla in there.
Don't tell them first. Go with Yankees. Like, don't tell them nothing first. It just appears.
Like today, we're going to have a special address, and everyone's got to be here. And it's going to be a big special event where you're all going to get on TV and, everything, and people are going to see your name. And then
my only issue is politicians are like cockroaches. They somehow manage to survive. So I'd want more than just a gorilla.
How about a gorilla?
Make sure it's foolproof and 100%.
How about a gorilla with an AK-47?
There you go. That's better. That's better.
Or a couple machetes. That would probably be pretty good too. If you just had a couple of machetes or broadswords. He can lift a broadsword one-handed. So
that'd actually be interesting if you taught gorillas to carry around really big swords that people can't carry. Then it'd be an interesting fight.
It would be nice if you could have your own gorilla that could wield that broadsword, and if anybody gave you shit, you don't actually
Would you rather trust a giant gorilla with a sword or a giant robot with a sword?
A gorilla. Robots are out to get us.
I think I'd take the programming of a robot over the. What if a gorilla just says, "Fuck it, I'm killing humans"?
But what when the robot says, "I don't like my programming, I'm rewriting it, and now kill all humans"?
That's a tough one.
Yeah,
I guess a rogue gorilla wouldn't necessarily just immediately get all his friends on his side, where a robot would immediately have all of the robots on his side.
All of them. They're all on the same side at the same time. You never see like some of the robots revolt. It's like they all revolt at the same time. The gorilla. And plus, I think it would be awesome to live in a society.
iRobot.
Yeah. But I think it'd be awesome to live in a society where when you had conflict between two people, they didn't actually go at each other. Their gorillas fought it out like a big sword fight, between two gorillas. And then whichever gorilla won, the other one had to yield and you lost the fight.
Ooh,
and
that's humane. And
we could do court cases like that too. So that would be awesome. Or although I'd rather just see people do that.
If the court case is under $300, it's monkeys with knives.
Yeah, monkeys with pointy sticks.
Okay. Is that inhumane?
I mean, they're not going to hurt each other, I hope. they don't fight to the death. They just fight till someone submits. Whichever monkey's got the biggest balls is going to be the one that wins. Let me make sure I'm all caught up on everything since we wasted the whole end of the chat talking about guerrilla attacks and stuff. Yes, we're all caught up. I want to thank everybody for coming, and especially Her Majesty, Never Enough Ammo, for actually showing up. We'll allow him to get back to holding down the man in Flint, or holding down the, I guess it'd be the man. No, you're the man.
I'm the man.
You're holding down the people.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
You got to remember who you're holding down. It's
the working man.
The working man. Yeah, exactly. You're holding down the working man in Flint, Michigan, setting their water on fire. But thanks everybody for coming. Has anybody got any last minute question? Anything they want to ask Never Enough Ammo while he's still here? In case we never see him again, because we never know.
I have a whole channel that I do chats on. You can just ask over there, but it's, you know.
Oh, that's true. But no, not, and all my people pretty much watch your channel too. So, all right. Thanks everybody for coming. We appreciate it. If you bought merchandise or something, remember I did those 2 new shirts. I'll read your orders tomorrow. I didn't do that today because, you know, we got to use every minute of Never Enough Ammo being here to talk about important things like gorillas with broadswords.
Exactly.
And I will see you all tomorrow. Until then, remember, always carry and stay safe until I see you again. Bye, everybody.
Respect.